Good morning. Today we're going to be making Animal Crossing fudge, both in KK slider form, which will be white chocolate flavoured, and in Tom Nook form, which will be peanut butter flavoured. Let's do it! We'll be doing KK slider first, so we're going to make the white chocolate fudge first. Okay, for the white chocolate fudge you're going to need about 160 grams of white chocolate, 240 grams of icing sugar, a little bit of vanilla extract, and about 112 grams of cream cheese. I'm using Philadelphia. I always use Philadelphia, it really works. Okay, first of all we're going to do what we usually do and melt the chocolate, and we're going to just put it in there, bobbing like a little boat. Bah! It'll melt. Maybe not that much. Okay, while the white chocolate is melting, we're just going to pour the rest of the ingredients in here, in the blender, and the cream cheese. And now we're going to add the little drop of vanilla, okay? Just like that. Wicked. Come on, chocolate. Melt harder. Ugh. Yeah. Wicked. Ooh. Now we're going to take all our melted white chocolate and we're going to pour it right into the cream cheese mixture that we've just made. Glub. And then just mix it in. Now we're going to take our baking tray, take a bit of greaseproof paper, get a little bit of butter on your greaseproof paper, and then grease up the whole dish. Bonk. There we go, all the sides are done. You want to make sure that all of the tray is completely greased so you can take the fudge out easily later. Then you want to take some bacon roll, about the size of the tray. Prepare it. You press it right in there and then you take some scissors and go around the edges so it's all not looking like a giant bouquet. Brilliant. Okay. Now this is going in there. Now as you can see, this isn't going to fill up the entire tray, because I'm not making an entire tray of white chocolate. I'm doing half white chocolate and half peanut butter. So if you want to fill up an entire tray with white fudge to make loads and loads of KK sliders, then you can, just double the ingredients, obviously. Just to flatten it out a little bit more so it's smooth on the top, I'm going to take this thing and I'm going to make it nice and smooth because it's a nice flat blade. Oh yeah. Oh, I wish you could see what I'm saying. Is that convincing or is that convincing? I so know what I'm doing. Washing up, washing up, washing up everything. Ah, fuck. Right, for the Tom Nooks, we're going to need 210 grams of icing sugar, about 65 grams of butter, 60 millilitres of milk. Oh, that's rubbish. About 100 grams of peanut butter paste. If you want crunchy or smooth, that's up to you, but I like it crunchy. 240 grams of brown sugar, and more fucking vanilla. First of all, we're going to melt our butter in a saucepan on a medium heat. That looks pretty medium to me. That is right in the centre. Oh yeah. Alright, what you want to do next is add your brown sugar. Carefully. And then you want to add your milk as well. Just stir that shit in. It's going to look really horrible. You see? That looks really horrible. Next thing we want to do is bring it to a boil, which is going to be really scary. You want to keep it boiling for about 2 minutes, just keep stirring it around. Now you want to take it off the heat. The next thing we're going to do is add the peanut butter. Stir that in. Now I've got a mixture that looks a bit like that, a bit more chocolatey looking for some reason. And now we're going to put in just a little drop of vanilla, as usual. And now we're going to pour that mixture over all our icing sugar. Taint its virginity. Ooh. You were once pure, now you are just peanuts. And then we're just going to stir that all together. Check it out. Wow. Fabulous. What you should be left with is this kind of solid lump, like dough. And you want to pour that into the remaining space in your tray. And now all we have to do is just let it chill. So put it in your fridge or in a conservatory or somewhere where it's going to get nice and cold, nice and quick. Now that our fudge has solidified, it's time to shape it. You see, I've already started shaping the Tom Nooks. Now the peanut butter fudge is kind of stiff and hard, so I'm going to show you how to shape that first. Okay, so now we've got our lump of peanut butter fudge. We're just going to break it and break it again, so you've got a small lump, and we're just going to warm it up with our hands. So obviously make sure you've got clean hands before you do this. And it is all crumbly and stuff, but don't worry, you can just squash those crumbs right back into there. Just kind of mould it into a ball. Now we're just going to squash that down. Take your knife and just start to cut. Tom Nook has a nice round head and 2 little round ears. You can worry about making them rounder after you've cut it out of the main lump of fudge. It's very much like a teddy bear's head. There we go, would-be nooks. So, now on to KK Slider. I've kept this white chocolate fudge in the fridge a bit longer because the bottom of it was really sticky, but now it's nice and tough. It's not sticking to me now. Now to make sure it doesn't stick on the board, we're just going to lay down some icing sugar. Like when you're moulding cookie dough, you put flour on top of the board you're rolling it on, we're going to use icing sugar. It'll make it non-sticky. And much like with Nook, you get your lump and start moulding. Still very sticky though. I'm going to use this thing again, try and make it a bit smoother. Oh, that works. And then I can lift them up. Oh, I'm a genius. Now I've cut them all out, but because they're all so sticky, I'm going to put them in the fridge just to solidify a little bit more before I decorate them. Okay, now I've taken the fudge out. As you can see, it's kind of prickly looking. What we're going to do is we're going to take some hot water and use a knife that's been in it, so the metal will be all hot. And then we spread the top of the fudge, and that smooths it out, and it also means we can reshape it, so we can cut out new bits if we want to make the shapes a bit more, you know, realistic. So now I will show you the effects of the hot knife. You see how prickly it is? I'm going to smooth it over. We're going to decorate the Tom Nooks, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to melt some chocolate. We're going to melt this chocolate so that we can make his eye mask, so to speak. Once all your chocolate is nice and melty, you want to take about half a spoonful of it and start dragging it across one of their faces. And you want to do this as smoothly as possible so that you don't get chocolate all over his head. So you want to take some white chocolate buttons, and as you can see that's way too big, so we need to cut it down a notch, about the same size as this chocolate chip. Now we've got our circle, we're just going to pop that right there. Brillo pads. Now we're going to ice the eyes, and we're going to use the chocolate squeezy to do it. Now we're going to put on his little noses, and his little noses will be chocolate chips. Just stick them on with caramel. What I'm also doing is I'm taking a chocolate chip and then cutting it in half to make his dopey eyelids. What I'm doing now is making some pink icing for the inside of his ears. So I've just mixed icing sugar and water and a little bit of red dye to make the pink. Be very careful with this, you only need a tiny, tiny bit on each ear. Wicked, that's all our Tom Nooks finished. Now we just have to do the KK Sliders. Now with KK Slider it's much more simple because it's just a lot of chocolate icing and chocolate chips. I'm going to take your chocolate chip and push it pointy side down into KK's face. So it stays in there like that. He's got these kind of sexy dog eyes. Yeah. They turned out pretty well. I even gave one of them a little mouth. Ruff. So there you have it. Peanut butter fudge Tom Nooks and white chocolate fudge KK Sliders.